After all these years, Invincible growing up and defeating Conquest, the question still holds, is he more powerful than Omni-Man? Invincible and Atom Eve are visiting Omni-Man and Debbie's new cosmic home on the moon, and a life-altering secret is about to get accidentally dropped right in front of everyone. We open up on the moon where the former Guardians of the Globe base has been completely renovated into a luxurious private mansion. Mark and Eve arrive and Eve is absolutely blown away by the incredible view of Earth. Everything is relaxed, but then Nolan looks at Mark and casually drops an absolute nuke. He deadpans, "Are you going to tell your mother the news or should I?" Eve's eyes go wide with pure unfiltered panic. She turns to Mark and screams, "Oh my god, you told your dad I'm pregnant?" Mark is sweating bullets, looking like a deer in the headlights because his dad just completely outed him. We get a rapid fire sequence of pure shock. Debbie's jaw practically unhinges as she shrieks, "You're pregnant?" Nolan glares, demanding to know why Mark was hiding this. But Eve isn't just embarrassed, she is absolutely furious with Mark. She screams, "I can't believe you, it's bad enough Cecil knows." This throws gasoline on the fire. Debbie loses her mind that Cecil knew before her, while Mark desperately throws his hands up, begging everyone to calm down. It is pure. Once the initial shock wears off, the tension gets deadly serious. Eve stands her ground, crosses her arms, and looks Mark dead in the eyes. The history between these two is incredibly dark, and Eve refuses to just sweep it under the rug. She reminds everyone that he was the leader of an evil alien empire who slaughtered hundreds of people. Mark tries to nervously play peacemaker, but Eve completely shuts that down, saying that doesn't make up for everything. But Nolan proves how far his redemption arc has come. He doesn't get angry. He steps forward solemn and tells Eve that if she hated him forever, he would completely understand. Eve softens, acknowledging that he is actively trying to change, but she can't resist ruining the moment with a deadpan joke, asking if there's a Viltrumite custom where the baby is grown in a tube. Debbie, sensing a galactic war brewing, quickly slaps on a fake smile and loudly announces dinner. We cut to the dinner table, and the silence is deafening. Eve is aggressively stabbing her food, pointing her fork straight at Nolan to clarify she's mad at Mark, not him. Nolan, trying to be a good father-in-law, promises he's a changed man, but Mark decides to completely shift the vibe. Still chewing his food like a chipmunk, Mark smirks and drops an absolute flex. "And if he tried it again, I'd kick his butt." Nolan raises an eyebrow, challenging Mark's ego. The alpha male energy spikes as Mark leans in, completely fearless, reminding his dad how they did something remarkable together. "I tried to not give you a spoiler, so at least you can do is subscribe." Nolan claps back, and Mark says, "You thinking what I'm thinking?" Debbie literally buries her face in her hand, utterly exhausted by these two meatheads. The plates are shoved aside. Mark and Nolan are locked in an intense, high-stakes arm wrestling match. They are sweating, veins popping, shockwaves radiating from their grip. In the background, we see that Debbie is trying to convince that Nolan is a changed man. Eve seems to agree, but still a little hesitant, saying, "I know, but this is my child. I feel like I have to be extra careful." Absolutely certain. You understand? With Debbie telling her she understands, Mark and Nolan are locked in an intense high-stakes arm wrestling match. They are sweating, veins popping, and struggling for dominance. Nolan grunts, admitting he's impressed Mark has lasted this long, but promises to wear him down. Mark is full of confidence, gritting his teeth and yelling, "Whatever, old man, I could do this all night." Mark's eyes flare up with absolute determination. He yells, "You'll see how strong I am." But right at that exact moment, the absolute wildest distraction happens. Floating outside the base, deep in the vacuum of space, is Anissa. She's staring right at him, and Nolan says, "Then let's see what you've got, kid." You can literally see Anissa's reflection in Mark's glowing blue goggles. Mark's concentration is completely shattered. He completely loses focus, his eyes going wide as he stammers, "Oh, damn." Nolan has absolutely no idea Anissa is out there. He just feels Mark's resistance slip. Nolan roars, taking immediate advantage of the moment, and violently slams Mark's arm down. The force of Nolan's push completely annihilates the dining room table, splintering it into a dozen pieces. The silence returns, broken only by pure mom rage. Debbie stands over the wreckage, absolutely livid. "Oh, come on! Was that really necessary? I loved that table." And Nolan, completely oblivious to the fact that he only won because his son got distracted by a floating alien, just looks at his hand and sheepishly apologizes. "Sorry, I guess I don't know my own strength." In a perfect wrap-up, Mark stands up, looking a little bruised, and asks his dad if Viltrumite leadership depends on being the strongest. Nolan just smiles, completely at peace with his victory, and says, "No, that was the old way. Why?" Mark just stares out the window into the dark space where Anissa was floating and quietly replies, "Just curious." And that is exactly where we are leaving it today. But now, I have a massive question for you guys. If Anissa hadn't shown up outside that window to distract him, who would have actually won that arm wrestle? Is Mark officially stronger than Nolan at this point in the timeline, or was the old man just pacing himself and getting ready to wear Mark down? Drop your answers down in the comments. Let me know who you think the real powerhouse of the Grayson family is right now. And please be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. And you can watch here Would Debbie forgive Omni-Man and be with him. Click here to find out.